Before you get into another fascinating and exciting episode of the podcast, Talk With Toweh. Today I'm here with my
I'm Jenkins, kind of your co-host.
We are also here with, what's up now? Law Joseph Howe.
we are here with Joseph Howe. Just in case you don't know Joseph Howe, Joseph Howe was supposed to see then Anthony and Law. Tell us your story in your academic.
I graduated from the University of Liberia, did a bachelor degree in economics, and then I went to the Coventry University in England, did a master's degree in finance, came back, worked a little bit, and then I decided to pursue law. So when I got a bachelor degree in law at the Law University of Liberia, and then following that and following my admission to the bar, I went to pursue a master's degree in commercial and corporate law. Now I just hold me there.
So, all that being said, why you decided to pursue your career?
My background is in finance, actually. So I started off doing economics and then later on in master's degree in finance. But then again, we're in a society where the labor mobility is not so wide, where you get commute from one job to another. So law is a pathway that provides some sort of independence, where if you leave one job, you can pick up the gun, go to the court, provide a job. We become self-employed up.
What role can lawyers play to help push the Liberian football professional?
Basis of being sport is to compete, and to compete, the hallmark is fairness, transparency and fairness. Transparency and fairness has its roots in law. So the role of lawyer in the promotion of sport is very key.
Okay, so do you think Liberia is ready in a very professional legal framework in football to get similar in the way of the European or CAF competition?
I believe it's a work in progress because we started from playing the league and there was nothing called bowl of session. So the game is evolving. We can see now that the FA is holding the clubs to set the standard, the club to we set the expectation for the FA. So I don't agree or not so pleased with the legal and regulatory framework, but I can simply say that we've grown from that having anything to having. So do you see it
Necessary for a team to have a personal law?
Yes, I believe so. Every area spend fears of life because lawyering or law cut across everything. In fact, another reason why I chose a journey into law is because every organization that you work in, every entity that you work in, engineers do their work, doctors do their work, they send it to the legal department for your opinion. So everything is centered around law.
So you did it, but
Exactly. So in a nutshell, the lawyer as the sporting organization. Along the way, before we don't had coaches to be licensed. Now in the league, there is a minimum requirement that you gotta reach as a team to have. You have to have a certain license. For example, in the first division, you need a Lasieto. Now as a year in the new rule, there's a requirement that you need a club licensing officer, you need a medics. If you don't have medics, you have certain. So we grow to a point where I believe again, I saw in the rule that this year, teams need to send their media officers. So I believe in the not too distant future, the requirement will be when the club will be required to have lawyers.
okay, you as the vice president of operation at PVFC, I'd like to know what are your main priorities in that.
My journey in football is started from being with football players, then working with teams, and then when the president of BZ is a circuit reached out to me that, hey bro, this thing is here, let's come in. It was like, this is up. So I joined and became the vice president for operations. I've enjoyed it since I started. We took PZ from the 3rd division. We came to 2nd division. We qualified the first. We came in the 1st division. Had the game. And also the goal, our goal, which I led, which asking the league was to break things in FC. I mean, there's no way, there's no forum now you can top like great former current day without calling things. Yes, that's one of the greatest achievements I would be able to win and see. I say we built a brand in the 1st division league that no matter where you go, any conversation that you have here about football in this country,
We talk as well. You will be like you been training like this. So, I ain't going to show like why you been training, but why you ain't training that.
Oh, issue on this. Yeah, issue the video on the FA. It was all FA, so you know. So sometime in April, as you know, I was in school. So the owners of Jubilee reached out to me that they are faced with this issue with the LF, and a bonus for club licensing. So, and it was at the time, I think it was close to the league or close to the end of the league or the end of the year that they got relegated by the LFA. So I said, okay, send me the information. Let's talk about it. So information passed on to me. When I review, I asked a number of questions, you know. Then I said, okay, because there's a statutory period to the appeal locally, let's appeal. So I helped them frame the appeal, filed the appeal in the regulatory period. And the appeal got venue before the club licensing appeal valid. When you appeal is so there is a hierarchy meaning there is stages in the DOR process. So you can start from down all the way up. So the lawyers will say your right to appeal is invalid. It means you can appeal on anything, any matter, and you must decentrally from the players that you got this to the others. So the first is the vote. It is that body, the 30 that deal with club licensing issue. Club licensing, it is the process that starts before the league. So for example, if you were to enter a university, you're supposed to have admission letter before you enter, right?
Yeah.
The requirement to participate in a league that all clubs that will participate in the LFA league got to be licensed by the first system to all the LFA before you participate. Now, to be licensed, there are lists of requirements that you have to meet. And so the first system board issued to me a license to participate in September of 2024, right?
Yeah.
That was before the league got the one that ultimately started in October. So, as a licensed member of the league, Jubilee participated. Then in December of 2024, a complaint was filed with the first system board. Now listen, following if a spot check would believe that Jubilee submitted false documents, false business registration. So that information now was filed to the first Istanbul that gave Jubilee the license and said, hey, listen, the thing that you get licensed to, we have reason to believe that they made a false submission. Please investigate. So the first Istanbul launched an investigation in keeping with their practice of that. Now, following interaction with the Nigeria Business Registry, in the voice of the first Istanbul was that Jubilee was misled and submitted a false document. The party that is responsible to make that determination determined that Jubilee made a false use. Jubilee did not contest that. Jubilee did not contest whether the document was false or not.
They said it was just.
No, the first Istanbul said Jubilee was. I will share the document with you. The first Istanbul said the four Jubilee in violation of it. Their requirements because Jubilee submitted the false document and they were misled. So now, like any other place in the world, everywhere there is a prescribed violation, there is a penalty for that violation.
Yeah.
Now, in best practice, the requirement is that the both the violation and the penalty should be predictable. So if we came here to do this interview, foundation, and you say, why do the interview? You can't scratch your head. I'm supposed to know before I sit on the interview too.
Yeah.
I can't be doing an interview when I scratch my head and say, oh no, you wrong for scratching your head. How did I know? The law presumes that you did not tell me. So there has to be predictability. I'm supposed to know before I sit on the interview that back on the interview I can scratch my head. And because I'm supposed to scratch my head for abusing the law, be quiet now. When I scratch my head, the penalty for it as also no.
Yeah.
Also no.
as well.
You can say that when I finish scratching my head, before you tell me what the penalty for it is unfair, all the law say. There has to be predictability and foreseeability. What that means is, as at the time me and you about to enter this relationship, in this case, the licensing, all clubs agree with the FA that for us to participate, we must be issued license. All clubs agree. Foreseeability say that as at the time was making an agreement with you, the outcome, the damage that it will cause as a result of me not abide by what we get already done, I should know. Let me break that down.
So let me
break that down.
Okay.
When the courts agree with the FA in the rule, the FA can send a rule around. That rules is sent around is the agreement between the club and the FA. The rule can say you will have 5 foreign players.
Yeah.
You must go to on technical meeting. You must present medical certificate. The rule say you must play a you must play away game, you must play 30 games. You must register 40 players. The FA send and the club agree. That binds the FA and the club. Now all the things the FA consider violation or non-violation is in the rule. Or any organization that got the conduct of its members, in this case, the rules. So the rules say that clubs should fulfill club licensing requirements. If you don't fulfill these requirements, you will bear penalty in keeping with what they call the book of censure. So that's how the whole thing started. It started by the KFD finding out or complaining to the first incident board that jury made a false submission. In this case, it was a business registration. And then the first incident board investigated and determined that jury actually did submit, made a false submission with their business registration. So why are we training? We are training because we've always believed that the decision that was taken by the NFL was not by the email. In fact, I can even get all the resources in the world, check in all the documents. There is no provision that say if you submit false document, it's automatically revocation. However, the law made provision for relegation. The law said if you don't relegate anything, the lesson that you get it, you must withdraw it.
So then how you joining it?
When you withdraw that lesson, then you can relegate it. But they can't have a license. You can't have the funny lesson there in relegate it.
Yeah, because they have lesson no participation.
Exactly.
Which is the only. Alright, please teach us so what you gotta do.
Put that the law says
Nah, I understand that.
they are saying that you they make it the only lesson here.
Yeah, but let's see what.
They relegate.
Yeah.
If you don't relegate, tell the lesson go. When the throw it out.
Yeah, be stable so from them.
I mean, as far as the rulings were said, that was in the statement they have done. I don't know whether it was intentional, but I can tell you, there was no peace. When the team from the beginning to do well, what did to the 5th?
Yeah, 5th November, 5th.
Today, November 5th, that the decision taken by the FA had absolutely no basis in law by their owner. So, we went to the appeal, the first instance board appeal by. First instance board appeal by, they have 5 members. One of the members is either an official or a beneficial owner of Jubilee. Bishop Klein. So, best practice require that if you are to investigate any matter that you have interest in, you should remove yourself from it. Bishop Klein recused himself from it.
Right.
Yes. So it left for 4 members. 4 members. There is a reason why the framers of law believe that there should always be odd number only colleagues. So that,
To break it up.
thank you.
To break it up.
Thank you. So we have 2 arguments. One, The first Istanbul appeal body came back with, they said they voted 2-2. Maybe there was no time, man. There was no, nobody believed that it was that. We have two arguments to that. The first argument is that, politics are 2-2. It's eating. So you can't choose either side.
You can't
It's on a deadlock.
There's no decision yet.
It's on a deadlock. Second argument is, the procedure say the chairman, all committee, vice president go to the Senate, the vice president wouldn't vote when there's a tie.
Yeah.
The chairman wouldn't vote when there's a tie. He, however, believed there was no tie because 2 persons voted for Jubilee, 1 person voted against Jubilee. The chairman wouldn't vote if there was a tie. In our case, second argument was the chairman voting was illegal because there was no tie.
So the chairman vote was what caused the tie?
That was the tie. And we believe that he wasn't supposed to vote when there was a tie.
Yeah, sure. So in other words, do we have one?
I feel bad. See how it works?
Do we want to do that?
So it's chairman came out and chairman put it. That's it. So, but the FA took the minutes to be the ruling chief. The minutes, it is a deliberation in a committee room. The ruling is a decision. The law says that decision should be signed based on decision. Say the minutes will say the committee met, the king now the other committee member said the other committee member said they took a break, the other person prayed, they put that in minutes.
The one saw the lady.
Tell you that in minutes. What it referred to as the reasoned decision is the outcome of those deliberations in the vote. Because remember this is the decision of the appeal body or a member's son. To today, it doesn't exist. There is no reasoned decision. To today, besides the minutes, there is no reasoned decision. So then, the Secretary General every road Jubilee that they be relegated, the appeal committee upheld their decision, and that was the final. After jury committee, they said, no, it can't be funny. The every statute says, if you are dissatisfied with the ruling of the first Istanbul, you go to the first Istanbul appeal body. If you are dissatisfied with that, you go to CAS. As I was talking about the hierarchy of the process there. So the first Istanbul, if they make a decision, you go to when you appeal. If you still dissatisfied, you go to CAS. That's how we made it to CAS.